May I call your witness?
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense calls Robert Baker to the witness.
Please swear the witness.
If you could please face me, and if you can, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. And for the record, say and spell your first and last name, please.
Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T, Baker, B-A-K-E-R.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Baker, did you previously plead to first-degree murder of Fabio Sementilli prior to ever agreeing to testify in this case?
I didn't agree to testify, no. I did plead no contendory.
Before you agreed to do anything, did you come into court and plead to first-degree murder killing of Fabio Sementilli?
I pled no contest.
Okay. You understand that in a criminal case, that's the same as a guilty plea?
I
Is
do.
that correct?
Correct.
And did you plead no contest in exchange for any promise of leniency or any deal?
I did not.
Could you talk into the microphone, please?
I did not.
In other words, were you offered any reduced sentence or any other benefit in exchange for your decision or agreement to testify?
No, I didn't.
And do you understand that you were under no obligation to testify?
I understand that.
Are you doing so freely and voluntarily?
I am.
Has anyone offered you anything whatsoever for your truthful testimony under oath?
No. No.
After your arrest in this case, did you ever receive anything from Monica Sementilli, any benefit for coming in here and testifying truthfully?
No.
When you were originally charged, you were charged with Monica Sementilli. Is that correct?
Yes.
You see her seated over there?
I do.
Monica Sementilli?
I do.
May the record reflect that he has identified the defendant.
Yes.
You were arrested, as I recall, on June 14, 2017. Is that correct? On or about?
I'm going to believe you on that one because I actually don't remember the date, but yes.
Okay. We're talking about almost 8 years ago.
Yes.
All right. You remember that day? If not the date?
I don't remember the date, but I kind of remember the day, yeah. I do.
Okay. After you were arrested and brought to court, were you represented by attorney Michael Simrin? S-I-M-R-I-N?
Initially, no, but later on, yes.
Okay. So initially, you were appointed someone to represent you when you were first brought to court,
Yes.
but eventually was an attorney assigned to you to be your attorney throughout the proceedings.
Yes.
And was his name Michael Simrin?
Yes.
Did Mr. Simrin ever indicate to you that you could receive a lesser sentence or some kind of leniency if you agreed to testify against Monica Sementilli or identify the second murderer in this case?
Yes, he said there was a deal on the table. That's what he told me.
Did he tell you what the deal was?
He said it was 16 to life.
Second degree murder?
He didn't tell me what it was. He just told me that was something called a proffer.
Okay. Did you agree to do that?
No.
As a result, when you pled no contest or guilty in this case, you received no benefit whatsoever. Is that right?
Not at all.
It's correct, isn't it?
It's correct.
As a result, did you receive a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole?
Plus 25 years.
And is that the sentence you are now serving?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Did you ever make a request to any detectives who were talking to you or any prosecutor to receive a lesser sentence in exchange for your testimony?
No, I did not.
At the time you were arrested, Ms. Sementilli was arrested with you. Is that correct?
Yes.
But the second killer, and let me preface that. You did murder Fabio Sementilli, is that correct?
Yes.
And did you do so with a second individual?
He went with me, but he didn't. Yes, he went with me.
Okay. And is his name Christopher Austin?
Yes.
You know that Mr. Austin, or do you know, has previously pled guilty to a lesser charge of 16 to life?
I didn't know the numbers, but I knew he did something. I didn't know too much of anything.
Well, did you know he made a deal?
Eventually, yes.
Before, as you're sitting here now, do you know that he's made a deal? He made a deal.
Yes, I knew he made a deal.
In exchange for his testimony.
Yes.
Before then, well, I'll get to that. So, at the time that you were originally arrested and charged, there were only two defendants, you and Monica Sementilli. Is that correct?
Yes.
And for a variety of reasons, the case continued for several years. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, eventually, you pled no contest or guilty, as we said, to first-degree murder and were sentenced to life without parole. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you remember approximately when that occurred?
No, I don't. I don't know the date. It was about a year and a half ago.
Right.
Somewhere around there.
I have a minute, Your Honor. All right, I'm going to give you the date of July 7, 2023 that we have from the official records. Does that sound right?
I'll take your word for it.
Okay. But on or about that date, you came into this courtroom, is that right?
Yes.
With no prior agreement with the district attorneys, the judge, or anyone else, correct?
Correct.
And you entered your plea to all the charges you were faced with, correct?
Correct.
And then your sentencing was put over to give anyone who wanted to speak at your sentencing an opportunity, correct?
I think that was the reason why it was held over, yeah. I'm not sure. I wasn't told anything.
Okay. Well, you were in court when it was put over for your sentencing, correct?
Yes.
And you were represented at that time by Mr. Cimarron, is that right?
Yes.
And then your sentencing eventually occurred a few months later, correct?
No, it was kind of fast.
Okay. It was a few weeks later,
Yeah,
perhaps?
literally.
Okay. All this time you remained in custody, right?
Correct.
And at your sentencing, do you recall people making statements, how they felt about your case, including members of the victim's family, Fabio Sementilli's immediate family? You remember
Yes,
that?
I did.
You remember that?
Your Honor, object, every question's leading.
It is.
Okay. Did anyone speak at that hearing concerning what they thought you should receive as a result of your pleas?
People spoke, and quite a few people spoke, yes.
Did the two daughters of Monica Sementilli speak as well?
I think just one of them did, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, your memory's better than mine. After they spoke, you were in fact sentenced to life without parole, is that right?
That's correct.
And have you been in prison ever since?
I've been in custody ever since.
Let me just ask you, well, a few basic questions before we get into the details. Did you plan and execute the plan to murder Fabio Sementilli?
Yes,
And did you in fact do so?
I did.
And who was with you at that time?
Just Chris was. He was a lookout.
All right, we'll get to that. You see the defendant seated over here, Monica Sementilli?
Yes.
You knew her well at the time of the murder, is that right?
Yes.
Is it fair to say you were in a romantic or sexual relationship with her?
Yes. You could say that.
Was that true?
Yes.
Did she have anything to do with the planning or the execution of the plan to kill Fabio Sementilli?
No.
You're sure?
I'm positive.
Now, you have heard some of the evidence already against you in the form of what we call overhears, is that correct?
Yes.
Does that change your testimony that she had nothing to do with the planning or killing of Fabio Sementilli?
No, it doesn't change anything.
Does that remain your testimony under oath today?
Yeah, it is.
Let me get a little background from you, if I could, Mr. Baker. What's your date of birth?
5262.
And where were you born?
Europe, Germany.
When did you come to the United States?
I don't know. My dad brought me here, I guess, when I was like 3.
Okay, and where did you live?
Been all over the United States. I'm an Army brat.
And you ever live in Fayetteville, North Carolina?
Yeah, yes, I have.
Where'd you grow up?
Kind of everywhere. Fayetteville was most of my childhood
Okay.
upbringing.
You had a father and mother there with you?
Yes.
Any relatives? Any brothers and sisters?
No, that's me. I'm the only child.
All right. And at some point, did you come to Los Angeles, California?
Yes, as an Army recruiter.
Pardon?
As an Army recruiter, I came here.
Okay. So were you in the Army yourself?
Yes.
For what years? You remember?
From 81 to 94.
So 13 years?
Yeah, 13, 14 years.
Okay. And what was the highest rank you received?
I was a staff sergeant.
And were you stationed all over the country or overseas or what?
A little bit of both. A little bit of Atlanta, Georgia, Virginia, all over the place. I've been a whole bunch of places.
Did you consider yourself a good soldier?
Objection irrelevant.
Oh, yeah, it's overruled.
I was considered one of the best.
And when you retired, at what rank did you retire from the
I
service?
didn't retire.
So you're still a member of the armed services?
No, I'm out.
So how did you leave and why did you leave? First, how did you leave?
I just.
Or
That's a
why did
tricky-
you leave? Let me
that's
start
a-
with why did you leave the service?
That's a tricky question, but I'll answer honestly since I answer it honestly. I caught another case, and I got put out of the military.
Okay. So let me ask you this. As you sit here now, have you ever been convicted of a felony?
Yes,
Can you tell us what felony that was?
I pled no contest to lewd and lascivious acts with a minor.
Minor being someone under the age of 18?
Correct.
Can you tell us how old that individual was at the time?
15.
Okay. And did you serve time?
I did.
When you got out, were you on parole?
Yes, I was.
You understood that you had and still do, I assume, a lifetime requirement to register as a sex offender, is that right?
That's the law.
Okay. And were you ever prosecuted for violating that law?
They chased me all the time, yes.
Okay. And were you ever punished or sentenced for additional time for that?
I think I did 6 months. I think I did 6 months for time one time.
Okay. As a result of that conviction or those convictions, were you unable or were you discharged from the armed services?
Say that one more time?
As a result of the convictions, the felony conviction, were you discharged?
Oh, yes.
And what year was that about?
94.
Okay. And is that when you came to Los Angeles?
I was already in Los Angeles at the time.
Okay. And no longer serving in the armed services, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Can you briefly tell us what you did for a living, what your employment was after you left the armed services?
Well, after that, I worked retail, believe it or not. I worked retail, and after I got out of retail, I wound up getting involved in the entertainment business. Well, because it's going to come out anyway, the adult entertainment business.
Okay. And when you say the adult entertainment business, you're talking about legal pornography, shall we say?
Adult entertainment.
Okay.
Pornography is degradation. We don't.
Fair enough. And what exactly did you do in that field of work?
Well, at first, I was actually married at the time. Well, I was like in a domestic, and then I had.
Objection or non-responsive.
It is non-responsive.
What does that mean?
That's right.
So I won't make
Hold on.
Sir,
the same
just
mistake.
listen to the attorney answer his questions, please.
When did you first get married?
The first time?
Yes.
The very first time.
Very first time.
Back in 82.
Okay, you were still in the armed services?
Yes.
And you mind telling us the name of the person you married?
I'd rather not.
Okay. How long were you married to her?
4 years.
Okay. And who was your second wife?
I'd rather
Don't wanna
not mention
name
her
her?
name either.
Pardon?
I said I don't want to mention her name either.
Okay. Were you still in the armed services then?
Yes.
And you get divorced from her?
Yes.
When did you begin in the adult entertainment business?
In 97.
Were you married at that time?
No, not legally.
Did you eventually marry someone that you were going with at that time?
No.
Okay. So when you got into the adult entertainment business, can you tell us what you initially did?
I was a performer with my partner.
So you were actually in the videos that were being made, correct?
Yes.
And when you say your partner, that is an actress who was also acting in the adult entertainment business, correct?
No, we came in together. She wasn't in. We came in the business together, so she wasn't there working. We came in at the same time.
Did you bring her into the business with you?
We agreed to come to the business together. Yes.
Okay, well, you were a team.
Yes.
And how old were you at that time? About?
29, maybe 20. 30, no. 30, 31,
How old was she?
20.
Did you bring her into the business with you? In other words, she had to come with you as a team, or you would not have been hired?
I sort of came with her,
Okay.
actually.
And you were making movies where? Here in Los Angeles or Chatsworth, wherever they made movies?
Yeah. Yes.
And for how long did you do that, Mr. Baker?
I performed probably about 4 years, maybe 4.
All with her?
Most of the time, yes. Most of the time.
Did you ever get married to her?
We were married by, no, we weren't.
Okay. So after the 4 years, what was your next field of employment?
You should ask who she was.
You really
I'm
did?
going to object non-responsive.
What's his name?
I'm not sure I can do whatever you ask me to, but I'll ask you that question. What was her name?
It was the victim of my first case.
Okay, so without going into a lot of details, you originally had a relationship with this 15-year-old female, correct?
Yes.
You were charged and convicted of lewd acts or sexual acts with someone under the age of 18, correct?
Yes.
You served your time, correct?
Yes.
And when you got out, did you marry her?
We got together. Yes.
Did you ever get legally married?
No.
Okay. You don't want to state her name?
No.
Okay. So how did you live together?
Yes.
How long did you live together with her?
After that time, about 5, 6 years.
And where was this in relation to when you were performing as an adult actor?
In Los Angeles.
But were you living with her while you were performing as an adult actor?
Yes.
She was not your partner in that, or was she?
Yes, she was my partner.
I see. And eventually you split up with her, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And did you leave the adult entertainment business at that time as a performer?
Yes.
Okay. This was all in Los Angeles?
Correct.
What was your next line of employment or field, your occupation?
I was a manager, a talent manager.
Okay. When you say a talent manager, was that for regular movies and plays or so forth, or was it still in the adult entertainment field?
It was both adult, mainstream.
Did you have a name of an agency? Did you work alone or what?
No, I worked with my partner. She was my partner in this.
Okay, the one that you didn't marry but had a relationship with.
Yes.
And what did you do briefly as a manager in this field?
We guided entertainers to get better jobs and kind of like a guiding people to get, what's the better word for it, more productive and more quality work.
And I assume you were paid for your service.
Yes.
You got a commission on there.
I'm going to object. All of these questions have been repeating.
What's his name?
How were you paid when you were in this field?
Through commissions.
Okay.
Through commissions.
And how long were you a manager in the adult entertainment business?
Probably the entire time, almost 20 years.
Now, did you manage others besides performers in the adult entertainment business? I mean, other than pornographic performers?
Adult entertainers,
pornography?
yes.
Did you manage individuals who were dancers in strip clubs or nightclubs?
No, not really the strip club thing. Like artists, musicians,
Okay.
up and comers, models, fighters.
And was this all with your partner?
In the beginning, no. Towards the end, yes.
Okay.
We had split up by that time.
Did you have an office?
Yes.
Where was that?
It was on Ventura Boulevard.
How long were you in that business as an adult entertainment manager?
Like I said, probably about 15 years, 17 years, something like that.
And that would take us till when in your life?
2015, about 2015.
All right.
Yeah, about 2015 or so.
Now, there was a witness who testified in this case, Roger Brown. Did you know Mr. Brown?
I do.
And how did you know Mr. Brown?
Met him at a party in 1998, I believe it was.
And to your knowledge, what field of employment was Mr. Brown in?
He was a general manager for a strip club.
Okay. Did you work for him in any way in supplying him with actresses or talent or dancers or anything?
He hired one or two for once to do a feature.
Okay. Did you remain friends with him?
Yes.
So you say that took us to about 2015, correct?
That's when I ended it. I got burnt out. Yes, so I didn't work anymore.
When did you first meet Monica Sementilli?
Probably 2016.
And when you first met her, how were you employed?
I was living off my residuals, and I was working at LA Fitness.
Okay. So LA Fitness is a gym, correct?
Yeah, correct.
When did you start working at LA Fitness approximately?
I think of 2015.
Okay.
I think
And any particular location?
the Woodland Hills location.
Okay. Do you remember the street or the address?
No.
Okay. Where were you living at that time?
At that time, I was living in Canoga Park.
House, apartment?
It was an apartment.
By that time, had you legally married someone else?
No. Oh, no. By that time, I was already. No, I was divorced.
Okay, and that was from your first wife?
No, that was from the one. That was from my last wife. My
Okay.
my
And
last one.
Do you wish to state her name or not?
I do not.
Okay. Did she live with you in Los Angeles while you were an adult manager?
Yes.
What did she do?
She worked at a restaurant. She also worked as an actress. She was pretty well known.
When did you get divorced from her?
2014, 2015, something like that.
Okay. During the time that you were married to her, were you faithful to her?
Yes.
Okay. After you got divorced, then you began working at LA Fitness. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. What was your first job there?
My only job there was I was a league director.
A league director.
A league, yeah. I was running a racquetball league.
Now, is this something you had done before?
No, never.
How'd you get into league racquetball league?
I'm a smart guy.
Okay. Well, did it? I won't comment on that. That was your first position at LA Fitness?
That's the first and only one.
Did you come up with the idea, or were they looking for a league manager? Or what?
Yeah, and I knew everybody who played racquetball over there, so I knew everyone. So it kind of was an easy walk-in job to do. It was a hobby, more of a hobby job type thing.
But you were paid?
Yeah, I was paid.
Okay. And what were your duties as the league director?
My job was just to run the leagues within Woodland Hills club, or actually for all LA Fitness, anybody who wanted to be in the league.
Is that where you were working when you first met Monica Sementilli?
Yes.
And how long, at some point, you began seeing her in more than a platonic way. Is that correct?
Correct.
How long after you first met her did you first begin a romantic or sexual relationship?
I don't have dates, or there's a couple.
Well, a few weeks, a few months.
A couple of weeks.
Okay.
A couple of weeks.
Were you seeing anybody else at the time?
Not steady.
But you were seeing other women?
Not really. Not really. I mean, not really.
Okay.
It's a complicated answer.
Just asking the questions, do the best you can, okay?
Yeah.
Did you play around, to use that term?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay. Had you made other acquaintances?
I did.
Okay. Did you meet any of her children?
Eventually, I did.
And do you recall their names?
Yes.
What are they?
Is it safe to say it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Jessica and Isabel.
Okay. And did you meet them at the racquetball club at the LA Fitness?
I think I met the oldest one at the gym, and the youngest one somewhere. She never came to the gym, if I remember right.
So the oldest one was Jessica, correct?
Correct.
Did she play racquetball there at the gym?
No, she didn't play racquetball.
She didn't play at all?
Not that I remember, no.
Well, did her mother play, Monica?
Mother played, yeah.
So when they came to the gym, let's start with Jessica. What did she do there, if you remember?
She probably went out running on a treadmill or...
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the answer. Probably it sounds like it's based on speculation.
Sustain.
Luke is right.
Do you know what she did there? Did you actually see what she did at the LA Fitness?
No, I wasn't paying attention like that.
Well, you were paying attention to her mother.
Correct.
What about the younger girl, daughter, Isabella?
I don't remember seeing her at the gym.
Okay. How long were you how long after you first met Monica Sementilli did you meet her husband, Fabio?
Maybe a couple of months. Maybe a couple of months or so. That I'm not even sure about. I shouldn't be answering that because I don't know for sure.
Well, do you know for sure whether or not you met him?
I did meet him.
And how were you introduced to him?
I was introduced to him. This is my husband. And then he introduced himself. I introduced myself. And then he and I played racquetball.
Okay. How long after that did you first begin a more than platonic relationship with Monica Sementilli?
That I'm not sure about. But I think it was after I had met her that I had met him. So it was a while. So I met her first. We got involved. Hang on. We got involved.
Do you need some water or anything?
No.
All right.
I've
Go
been
on.
sitting in that ice cold cell for. So, and then I met him later.
All right. Was it after you met him that you got involved with her?
No, it was before.
Got involved with her before then?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't. That's a tough question.
And I don't need a lot of detail, but can you describe the first time that you were romantically involved with her or discuss being involved outside of the racquetball situation?
It was just a conversation first. We just had a conversation. We just talked. And it took a little while before we got involved. I don't have a timeline or nothing like that, but it took a little bit. Took a little while. And I don't have timelines.
Okay. I assume you know the date of January 23, 2017?
I'm taking that's the day of the crime.
Yes.
Okay.
Day of the murder?
Yeah.
How long before then did you first begin seeing Monica Sementilli on a dating relationship, if we can put it that way?
I would say about roughly a year.
And did that begin on just going to movies, coming to your place? How did that start?
Yeah, we went out to have some lunch or something, and we talked, and that's how it kind of started off. And then eventually it got a little bit more serious. Invited her to the apartment. And again, I don't have timeline.
Okay. Eventually, you engaged in sexual conduct with her?
Yes.
How often did you see Monica?
It was sporadic. It was scattered. It would all depended on her time, on her schedule.
Let me ask you a separate question, if I can. Do you know an app, phone app by the name of Viber, V-I-B-E-R?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us what your understanding of Viber was in 2015?
Viber was a text app that the whole world used to text each other.
All right. How was it different than, say, Apple or some other text device?
I wouldn't know. I used it because somebody introduced it to me months before that, or even a year before that. I liked it. I enjoyed it. So that's why I used it.
All right. That was before you even met Monica, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Did you use the app at that time for any reason of secrecy or keeping your communications private?
Never.
Did you ever discuss the Viber app or introduce Monica to it?
Actually, I did. If I remember right, I think I did.
And did you tell her that you were using it and that she should use it as well?
I told her I was using it. It was a fun app to use because you could do pictures and stuff. So yeah, I said, so I introduced her to it.
And to your knowledge, did she download it?
Yes, she did.